So I'm out here exercising, working out. Man, sometimes it's tough to find the motivation to do this, right? Especially if you don't have a routine of exercising normally. Your body's not really telling you you want it, but I guess around probably been 10 years or so now where I've regularly exercised, and so now it's just something your body's kind of telling you that you need. And so if I don't do it for a few days, I'll just feel a little itch to start. I gotta sweat, I gotta move, I sleep a lot better when I've worked out or exercised. I used to be a lot stronger, when I was in my early 20s, just kind of natural strength. Now I don't really care about necessarily lifting more weight or anything. It's just about, feeling better. You sleep a lot better because you're physically tired at the end of the day. It's so bad when you lay down for bed or you get tired after, the day. You don't have any energy to work out, and it's like 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock. And, you eat maybe something that's not that healthy, and then you're just kind of lethargic all day. And then when it comes time to actually go to sleep, you can't sleep. You toss in and turn in. Your body's not tired. I mean, your mind's tired, but your body is still not physically tired. And I guess your mind, you're still kind of thinking about stuff. After you've exercised and you're physically exhausted, your mind just kind of shuts off because your body needs to rest. But when I don't do that, I sleep really bad. It helps to maybe take a shower right before I go to bed, but it's still hard to, if I don't get lucky and fall asleep pretty quickly, it can be not a very good night's sleep. So, it's all kind of like habitual stuff. If you never really work out normally or exercise, you don't feel the need to do it. Your body just gets used to kind of being sedentary and not really doing much. And I was like that for a while. And then breaking that trend or that cycle that you're in is very difficult, because every time you go to do something, it's like painful, right? Even sometimes just walking longer distances can be painful or uncomfortable, or you're sweating, or like walking upstairs, because you're not used to it, and you tend to reject those things because they're difficult, right? So it's like you go to the gym, right? I worked at a gym when I was a teenager for like a year. It's typically like the 80-20 rule, where it's really only like 10 or 20% of people that regularly go to the gym, right? They're the ones that are in they have a routine of going to the gym 3 times, 4 times a week, sometimes even every day, because they're in a routine. A lot of people that were at a gym a lot of times would have the membership and they would never really go. They like the idea of having a membership because in the back of their mind, they knew, oh, well, I have a membership, and so whenever I want to go, I can go. But they never start going, and so they never break that bad habit. They did the first step of, getting the membership and going in maybe for one day, and then life gets in the way. People are busy. You don't prioritize your health because it's kind of seen as like a chore. It's not really seen as an investment. You're like, I don't really want to go. or I'd rather go, watch the game. I'm too tired from work. Did he just hit a home run? Watching the Mariner game. Yep, hit a home run. Rodriguez hit a home run. I think he's like 21 years old. He'll probably make more money in 1 year than most people make in their lifetime playing baseball. So, anyways, I think that's the biggest thing, is you just get in a you just kind of develop bad routines, and they become really hard to break because you don't feel uncomfortable. Versus like what I said earlier, I was overweight. Not really overweight. I mean, I was a teenager maybe, and I was, 20, 30 pounds overweight maybe. But I didn't feel like I had to work out. It wasn't something I did regularly. And I didn't feel like I needed to allocate time to it. But as soon as I started doing it, and I really only started doing it once I started working at a gym, because I was there, and it became a lot easier logistically to just work out, like maybe after I worked, or just being around the gym, right? You could do stuff when you're working. And so I kind of developed a routine like that, and after, it's like usually 21 days is what they say, but after a few weeks of doing that, you just become used to it. And so if you don't do it, your body doesn't feel right, and it's telling you, hey, I want to go, get on the elliptical, or do this circuit routine, whatever. I used to be a lot stronger. I'm only like 160, maybe 165 pounds right now, but I don't really work out anymore I'm not a big guy. I don't really care about really the way I look too much. It's just about feeling good and being generally healthy. It's kind of scary once if you've ever been in the legal system or in the hospital, the first thing you really want to do is like, gosh, I just want to get out of here, right? So I look at like your health as kind of an investment in just your long-term well-being, and staying out of the hospital, and just kind of living a generally healthy life, right? Because a lot of people are just focused on what I have to do today, the long-term financial, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to have X amount of money, and that tends to, you get like tunnel vision on that, and you don't realize that really your most precious thing you have is your time, right? You could have all the money in the world, and if you don't have any time to use that, then what good is money, right? So, and I don't think it's really pushed, everything now is done like even when I was growing up, there wasn't a lot of technology. I mean, there was computers, but there wasn't smartphones. There wasn't like just widespread devices in a schooling system. Now everything's online, and it's just there's a lot of distractions. Kids aren't going outside, and to be honest, like even the generation before me, they went outside way more. I mean, they barely had TV. They didn't have really any like video games or things to do, or the ability to communicate, right? If they wanted to interact, they couldn't do it digitally. You had to go outside and like to the park or hang out with the people in the neighborhood, right? So, your social skills are better. You're more healthy because you're just not sitting in the house all day. And people didn't have to just go to the gym back then. If you lived an active lifestyle, you're just out moving. It's like people that are in the trades. You're not sitting behind a desk all day talking on the phone or answering emails. You're out doing stuff. You're moving around. You're delivering packages, working on a construction site, whatever, right? You're moving, you're doing stuff. At the end of the day, you're physically tired. But for a normal you know, like working stiff, very sedentary, you know, and if you don't make the time you don't give yourself a few hours a week, wow, the ball just went through his legs. They're going to score another run. That was just a Bill Buckner play right there. Total Bill Buckner. Let's see if I can show it. Let's see if they show this replay. Right through the guy's legs is a total Bill Buckner. That's bad, man. Look at this play. Right through the wickets. Boop. Right in the outfield. That's the Bill Buckner play. You usually don't see that in the major leagues, right? That's something like I do in Little League. Of course, they're not paying me anything to be there. But anyways, my point is that I think most people, if they're not involved in sports or some sort of organized activity, it just doesn't become a normal part of your life. And so that's why so many people are not just overweight, but they're obese. You know, they have health issues at a relatively young age. They're kind of lazy. I even feel like I'm sometimes lazy. Like I prefer to I'm totally fine not interacting with anyone for days and could be left alone. But physically, I still, you know, if I go more than 3 days without doing anything, I'll start to feel pretty bad. Like my body needs to do something. So I've kind of made it a part of just my routine, and I'm relatively, you know, skinny, like 5'10", 165 maybe. But even by like American standards, that's probably like maybe a little bit higher, you know, because all Americans compared to like any other culture or ethnicity, you look at like the Asian population, or really any other country, Americans are so overweight. And a lot of it's not really, you know, you go to the grocery store, right? Everything's cheap. All the stuff that's bad for you is cheap. Way more stuff is bad for you than good, right? Every city looks the same with like Denny's and IHOP and Walmart and Outback Steakhouse, and you know, all these just kind of unhealthy places where if you eat there normally, no doubt about it, you're going to be overweight. I don't eat at any of those places, like ever. Maybe like a handful of times a year will I eat at a fast food place or at like a Denny's. Maybe like 5 times for the entire year. And I exercise regularly, but if I have a day where I feel terrible if I eat at any of those places. Like the whole day I'll feel bad. My stomach won't feel right. The food's really greasy. Your hands feel like sweaty. You just don't feel right. But if that's your normal, that's your normal. And then you end up being, gosh, I see people that are, it doesn't matter how old you are. They could be 20, 50, or 80. It's like, wow, how are you still alive, man? You're huge. So it's kind of a problem. You know, no one's going to do it for you. I think that's the hardest thing for most people, is that it's not just something you can pay for. You know, you can't really pay someone to work out for you or to make good decisions on how you eat. You know, like you look at people that they get to the point where they have to have like liposuction or some sort of surgery. It's like, gosh, that's not really, that might be a good decision for you. I don't know if you're at that point, but let's think about the decisions maybe about, geez, I haven't been eating very good. I'm overweight. Maybe I should change that. So it's just sad. You could already die early in so many ways, right? You think about people that just die randomly or in a car accident or just like a freak incident. If you're not exercising and eating decent, man, you know, you're just not going to age gracefully. And it's just tragic, you know, because when you get to the point in your life where you're older, a lot of it's unfortunate because it's, you know, you don't have your health anymore. You might have the resources to go do things that you want to do, but a lot of people just end up, you know, dying, or even if they wanted to just go do things, they can't because their health is deteriorating and just not physically able to go do those things. So you worked your whole life and you can't do any of the things you wanted to. Not to mention, as you get older, you have less ambition to go do all these things, travel, you know, stay up later, stay in hotels, exercise even. I mean, just kind of living an active lifestyle, right? It's harder to do if you haven't done it your whole life. It's like, I'm going to do that when I retire, right? I'll figure it out once I retire in 5 years or 10 years or whatever. I'll live a better life. Maybe. But at a certain point, even if you want to exercise or want to be healthier, you might not be able to. Even if your mind has accepted that I'm going to live a better life, you know, your body's breaking down. Hey, my back hurts, my feet hurt, I'm having issues with my sleeping, my breathing. I can't go do the things. I can't hike, I can't run, I can't really have strenuous exercise. And then if you're already overweight, it's just not good, right? So I don't think anyone really thinks about that. Everything's so short-sighted, you know. You're forced to be, right? So many people, they don't have the resources to think about long-term things. It's, hey man, I gotta worry about today. I gotta worry about tomorrow. I gotta worry about paying the rent or whatever. And I'll worry about that stuff later, you know, so that's kind of my opinion. I'm just on the elliptical. I'm gonna do this for like, I don't know, an hour and 10 minutes, 20 minutes maybe. I'm sweating good. So anyways, just kind of rambling to myself about that, you know, and I don't know if anyone has an answer to it. I think at a younger age, people just have to, the schools have to prioritize it and being active, and you know, it really puts a strain on the system too when you have so many people that are getting older, that are unhealthy, that have to be in the hospital or that require constant medical attention. It's so it's not good, right? I mean, when you're young, you have the advantage of just naturally having a good, you know, fast metabolism. You can kind of eat bad. You don't have to exercise. You still look good. Still feel good. But if you have bad habits, as you age, you get really penalized for not making your health a priority. And like I said, it's everyone's responsibility. No one's going to do it for you. You can't pay anyone to just make you healthier as much as people would want. And it's a perfect accounting system. If you don't make the investment throughout your life, you're going to pay the price when you're older. You know, there's no making up for it. Heck, like I said, even if you do prioritize your health, you could still die. But if you don't, you know, you're at much higher risk of just either being unhealthy and having a really bad quality of life, or dying really early. And it's sad when people that are, you know, they kind of made sacrifices their whole life, and then they don't get to live out kind of the best, what should be the best years of your life, right? So anyways, I don't know why my garage is opening. I'll have to check that out. Anyways, have a good day, guys.